have been your father, boy, but he wasn't your daddy.
Hey guys, in honor of Father's Day, I'm going to be doing my top 5 best fathers. And maybe I might sprinkle in the top 5 worst fathers, depending on how this video goes. So let's just jump right into it.
Came to us, we thought that people would come and take you away because when they found out, the things you could do, and that worried us a lot. But then man gets older and he thinks very differently and things get very clear. And there's one thing I do know, son, and that is you are here for a reason.
Starting off my list for best comic book dads, I'm going to go with Jonathan Kent. Now, some of my biases towards Jonathan might be predicated on the fact that I really enjoyed Smallville growing up, and the Smallville interpretation of Jonathan was great. He was a strong figure, guided Clark to where he needed to be, and also I do love the Richard Donner, Christopher Reeves era Jonathan Kent too. He was wholesome. He taught Clark. He never really scolded Clark like the Smallville version, but he taught Clark that, ironically, that he was meant for more. He had a destiny, and that it wasn't to play football or be a showboat. Jonathan's just a wholesome guy, to the point where when Superman had the choice of turning back time at the end of the movie, and you hear the two voices of his Kryptonian father, Jor-El, and his Earth father, Jonathan, he went with the smarter choice, and he chose his humanity.
You laughing? You're not supposed to laugh. He's here.
For my number 2, I'm going to go with Scott Lang. Scott Lang is a very wholesome dad. Now, sure, he might be a goofball, he might be a criminal, but everything he does at the end of the day is to better his relationship with his daughter. I mean, the guy goes above and beyond, and especially in the MCU version, Paul Rudd just brings whole new life into that character, and you see that everything he does, he really does do it for his daughter. He cares. Even when all the obstacles are set in his way, he really just wants to do right by Cassie.
There must also come great responsibility.
Pretty words. But what good do they do? We still went to the venue. We still let the cat burglar go. He came down to take this car and took Ben away from us.
From him, not you.
For my number 3, I'm going to pick an oldie but a goodie, Ben Parker, aka Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben, what can I say about Uncle Ben? With great power comes great responsibility. He's the catalyst for Peter's journey. And Uncle Ben is really just a wholesome guy as well. He teaches, like Jonathan, he teaches Peter a lot of moral lessons. Again, we don't get to see as much as we usually do with Jonathan, depending on the interpretation, because he's like Thomas Wayne. He pretty much dies early on in the story, but for most of his incarnations, including the Ultimate Universe, Uncle Ben's a pretty solid guy.
You can do this.
It hurts.
I know, but you're gonna have to work through it. Okay? One sound at a time. Come on.
For my number 2, we're gonna go with Superman. Yes, Superman. Clark Kent. Clark is a good dad, especially to Jonathan Kent. You can see a lot of his earthly upbringing rub off on him, and he teaches Jonathan how to be a hero, even though Bendis kind of screwed that up, but we're gonna get to that when we get to that. Clark is just a swell guy. Why wouldn't you want Superman to be your dad? He's wholesome. Again, a lot of these dads are wholesome. But wait until we get to my number one. My number one, you're going to be very surprised. But Superman teaches lessons to his son. He makes sure his sons don't come out like another Cape Crusaders children that we will not name. But yeah, Superman's a good dad.
I will not in good conscience allow you to go. You're outmatched by these assassins.
What?
You're not some hardened vigilante. You're a young man with a trust fund and too much anger. You're in over your head, and I don't want this to be your end.
For my number one, this should be no surprise to anyone who knows me, but my number one best comic book father has to be, hands down, Alfred Pennyworth. Alfred is the cream of the crop. I mean, this guy pretty much raised Bruce from the ages of 8 and up, and arguably he might have raised Bruce's entire life because he's pretty much been there the whole time. And Bruce is an asshole. So to have a father as patient and as kind and concerned as Alfred, who's not only your butler, your medic, your therapist, your moral conscience. I mean, to this day, spoilers for Tom King's Batman. If you haven't read it, you haven't read it. But when Alfred died, that stuck with Bruce to the point where, you know, he's still trying to function in the world post Alfred. And he's not just a father of Bruce. He raised all the Robins, essentially. Bruce was just kind of there. He was like a dad legally, but shoot. When Alfred died, he left Nightwing a buttload of money. So, again, Bruce Wayne might have been your father, but Alfred was your daddy, Dick Grayson. But yeah, if you liked anything that I said or want to see a continuation of this video where I do the top 5 worst comic book dads, comment in the comment section below if you agree or disagree with anything I said. Don't forget to comment down in the comments section. Hit the notification bell. We have a podcast. We do movie commentaries and all the other extra goodie stuff that you see on this channel and on Patreon. And yeah, come back for more.